Bam.
Oh, there it goes.
Didn't let us go live the first time I tried, so refresh and do it again. There we go. Questions early on here. Canucks reverse retro is real, which it is. I do prefer the reverse retro they had a couple years ago, but obviously I'll be getting that one as well. Delay in the Bergeron Krejci signings. Bergeron and Krejci, it'd probably be the same thing. Do we want to do this again? Probably talking to one another. I don't read too much into the delays. Boston would want to make sure they're all good with the cap as well, but it'll be 1-year deals for both of them.
Let's see. Imagine Logan Cooley and Zegras on the same team.
It'd be pretty fantastic if they were.
How does Luke get away with doing absolutely nothing for 4 years to make the Isles better outside of hiring Trotz and has never won anything in the cap era, but people still praise him nonstop?
The Islanders, most of the years he's been there as GM, have made the playoffs. It wasn't expected. How much of that has to do with Barry Trotz? Well, he hired Barry Trotz, so I get it. Lou hasn't needed to do very much with the Islanders. I do think there'll be some moves made between now and the start of the season to change things up, but it's likely not going to be very major. But if they can get back to where they were 2 years ago, it'll be fine.
I miss a cleaning cat tree. Bear and Pickle are right over here having a bath.
Yeah.
And Shadow is in the tree in front of the window.
Yeah. So there's treats on this tree, but yeah, cats have had their fill of those, I guess. No news on Kadri yet.
What do you think about the film Titanic?
I loved it when it came out. I love it a lot less now. I really, if I watch it now, it's from the strike. It's from where they hit the iceberg. I was going to say asteroid, but that's a whole other movie.
It would be a very different movie.
When they hit the iceberg, we watched Don't Look Up last night too. So that's kind of a downer.
Kind of super.
Movie's a bit of a downer.
Yeah. We just started the live stream, so you are good. We started this late because it's really hot here. Really hot here. So.
Barzal untouchable or Vancouver rumors since he's from Coquitlam? No, it would be too expensive to get Barzal. I don't think Barzal's going anywhere. I think he's staying where he is. And Barzal's fantastic. I know he has a lot of ties locally. His family lives around here, but yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
I'm just dropping in to say hi. This channel is great. Hope you guys can get through the heat.
We'll make it.
Thank goodness we've got a little air conditioner right there. And then we have one upstairs for the rabbits and the children. For the rabbits. Have you seen the new Batman?
Not yet. Eventually, but not yet.
What's the question on the jersey count? When I just see I second a question, I don't know what the question is. I cannot read all the questions. So
jersey count? I would say I have 38 jerseys right now.
Right.
It's a rough count.
What would you like 38. To see as your ideal reverse retro Canucks jersey?
I would love to see the stick and rink using the red, black, and yellow color scheme. I think that'd look fantastic. The stick and rink jersey could look really nice. I don't know that we ever see it, but that would be a really nice one.
If they could stay healthy, I could realistically see 4 to 5 players score 30+ goals for Detroit. Vrana, Larkin, Bertuzzi, Raymond, maybe Perron.
If they stay healthy with Vrana, that's always touchy. And Perron's older at this point. He missed some games last year, so we'll see. But yeah, Detroit should have a much better attack. People are starting to get kind of excited for what Yzerman's built there, and is still in the process of building.
Any more Penguins moves?
I get the feeling that they're pretty much done. I think once they kept Malkin and Letang, I think because of the cost of that, it limits what else they can do to make moves. So like Kadri would be off the market for them. They can't do that. But I wouldn't be surprised with the minor moves. But they've already revamped the blue line. They've already re-signed their backup goaltender. I think they're set.
Thank you for introducing me to Rammstein. Mine tile is freaking great.
Mine Tile's awesome. Deutschland is fantastic. Links 234 is absolutely awesome. It's a good marching song.
What was for dinner? I was gonna barbecue chicken, but it's too hot to barbecue.
I haven't
so
had
I
dinner
made
yet.
Noodle salad and coleslaw, and then I chopped up a watermelon and strawberries and grapes. So lots of fruit too, because it's really hot. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hey THG, been a fan since 1,000 subs and watched pretty close to every video you've put out.
Thank you.
Really appreciate everything you've done for me going through rough times, but watching you would make it all that much better. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've been subscribed since you were about 1,000 too.
Yeah, you were subscribed before I met you.
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Okay. Hello. I was wondering your thoughts on the leaked Vancouver Rush retro jersey. Do you like them? By the way, love the channel.
The Johnny Canuck looks weird. It is a throwback to the WHL Johnny Canuck. I think they'll sell really well. Canuck fans have wanted Johnny Canuck on the front of the jersey for a long time. We have it here in Abbotsford. It'll sell. The orange NHL logo is going to take some getting used to, but I mean it'll be fine. And then the reverse retros will stand out in the dark, so that's important.
What is Wahlstrom's ceiling?
I could see Wahlstrom, new coach this year, and if they play a more wide open style, I could see him hitting 30 goals. I like Wahlstrom a lot. I think under Trotz, I think his offense was stifled a bit. Same as with Barzal. I think both of them could have big years.
How is Rammstein in concert?
They're fantastic. Yvonne will find out in September. We're going to 2 of their concerts in Los Angeles.
So that's as close as they get.
Yeah, that's as close to get to where we are. So we'll fly out, watch the 2 concerts, fly back
home.
It's going to be a quick trip, but I've done that with Rammstein before. I went to Edmonton. That was on Greyhound, though. We took the Greyhound 18 hours, went and watched the concert the next night, and then the next morning we were back on the Greyhound. It was 20 hours to come home. So it was, and I couldn't sleep the whole time. I can't sleep on a bus, especially when you're going through those mountain roads and it's mostly terrifying. My ex could sleep through the whole thing, but I was just, especially when it's late at night and you're doing the Yellowhead and it looks like all of the lights are straight in front of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boy, if any of those trucks are in our lane instead of their own, because those truckers fell asleep, this is going to be a really quick trip and I'm not going to see my band. So, and then I thought, well, coming home during the daylight, this will be better.
No.
Nah. The bus passed on the mountain, like, and while we're going around a corner, I'm like, we can't see around that corner, so I really hope there's nobody on that side, or we're dead. So that was fun. So flying is better.
Just recently found your channel. It's been so great. Best hockey content around. You guys are a breath of fresh air. Also, go Blue Jackets.
Thank you. Blue Jackets, now the team that people want to sign with, and now it's Calgary. Everybody says nobody wants to sign with. It's so weird.
Have you seen Tool in concert? We were supposed to in 2020. We got tickets. So it's one of those things. I've seen Tool many times in concert. Shannon has not. Shannon has seen Rammstein twice in concert, and I have not. So those are our concerts we need to see together. Yep. There's a few other bands.
And I mean, what made it worse was that one of the last times they were in Vancouver, Kimber went to see them. And then he told me everything about how awesome it was and everything with Maynard. And I'm like, seriously, this is just upsetting me because I had no money to go. I couldn't go. Right. So
yeah, those were expensive tickets even back then because I couldn't go the last time they were on tour. I went the time before. And then
Kimber even said, so you know, expensive. The way Maynard sat on the stage at the end of it, it looked like he's probably not coming back. And I'm like,
it's been a long time. Love your videos. What are your thoughts on the Halloween reboot?
The Rob Zombie version I thought was okay. I enjoyed the first half. And then, of course, it was kind of almost like a reboot when they did the Halloween movie in 2018, even though it's a sequel, but they just called it Halloween. That movie's pretty good, too. Yvonne went and saw that one. She's going to go watch Halloween Ends. She's really excited to see Halloween Ends. After how good Halloween Kills was, I mean, that was great, right? Everybody in the hospital yelling and screaming.
It was silly. There was but
charging
like
up
most
the stairs,
movies,
charging down the
so
stairs.
Much silliness.
It was ridiculous.
He's surrounded by people, and there he's fine.
Yeah, that was like a Rob Zombie thing. Now that I've watched 3 of Rob Zombie's movies, the way that Michael comes back and kills everybody, I'm like, yeah. Now having seen zombie movies, I'm like, yeah, that Rob Zombie could have directed that.
What are your thoughts on the likely Slavin Burns pairing for Carolina? Deadly or a dud?
It should be perfect as long as Burns hasn't lost a step this coming season. It should be fantastic. He could score 75, 80 points with Carolina. Slavin will cover any of his errors defensively. He's been doing that for years. I think it's going to be great.
Hey, Shannon, players in MLB have walk-up music when they come up to bat during home games. What would you think if NHL players had goal music?
They tried that in Vancouver. And
it wasn't as fun.
Nobody liked Brandon Sutter's music, so nobody wanted to score a goal because nobody liked the song he picked. I think that it's a fun idea, but you're gonna have songs that are just not good,
lame,
because players are gonna pick songs and everybody's got different tastes.
Pick country music,
so there's gonna be times
that
or people who like country and don't like metal, they might not like the metal songs, so that's a problem too.
Where would you rank Kaprizov among all NHLers?
I mean, in terms of excitement, he'd be top 10. In terms of talent, he'd at least be top 15, top 20.
Hello from Seattle, THG. Hot take: Kraken make wild card.
They'd need much better defensive numbers than last season. The offense will get better this year. The defense has to get better if they're going to get close to that.
What do you think Ottawa's chances are in the Atlantic? I feel like Florida and Toronto got worse, which helps the Sens.
Florida's still going to be a beast. Toronto, it really depends on the goaltending for them as well. If Murray can have a bounce back year, they should easily be top 3. But for Ottawa, I think Boston's the one that could take that fall, and that might be where Ottawa can jump in. The problem is Detroit and Buffalo should both be better this year as well. Maybe not playoff worthy, but they should both be better. And Detroit and Ottawa could be fighting it out for that last playoff spot.
Favorite Korean movie? Do I know any Korean movies? I don't know that I've watched a Korean movie.
I know I have.
I don't know.
But that was before you and I met. Because I got tired of Netflix. I got tired of all the... And so I started doing the foreign movies thing again.
I watched a lot of European
I went through
movies,
foreign movie stage. So I mean, we've watched a Korean show, Squid Game. Yeah. That was Korean.
Yeah.
That was enjoyable.
I don't know that I've watched Korean movies.
I want to say, like, we've been meaning to watch Parasite. We'll watch Parasite at some point. We should have watched that instead of Don't Look Up. It might have been less depressing.
Thoughts on Jim Hiller, what he can do for Kings power play?
The Kings power play should be better this year. It's going to have better players on it. And I think that having a new voice definitely helps with that as well. The Kings are going to be entertaining this year because with what's been going on with Calgary, with everything in Vegas, Edmonton should be better, but LA might end up being second in that division.
Do you have any CHL jerseys? They've got great ones.
I got a Hamilton Bulldogs a week ago. I have Vancouver Giants. I have 2 of those. I have their white third and I have their red one. I have Prince George. I have 2 Chilliwack Bruins, who of course moved. I have 2 Victorias. Mm-hmm. I have... Do I have OAHL jerseys? I have... Did I get Sarnia?
I don't think
the Sting.
So
that's
I don't think so.
With the B on it.
Yeah,
I think I got Sarnia. I think I did. So I'll have to go through it at some point. At some point this summer, I'm going to go through my AHL collection. It was Brandon Wheat Kings I didn't get, but I'm going to go through my collection. I'll do like an AHL video, and I'll do a CHL one as well.
Does Philippe Grubauer have a decent chance to rebound, or the Kraken just have one of the worst contracts for the next 5 years?
Grubauer's better than he was last year. Grubauer has to bounce back. That was a rough year. There were some stoppable goals there.
Is Brock Nelson underrated?
Not by Islander fans, but outside of the New York Islanders fan base, likely. But there are certain teams that don't get a lot of attention. The Islanders are one of them.
We do have air conditioning in here. The unit is right there.
That's why I'm wearing a T-shirt, though, because I'm not doing a video.
Lives in this room, so he needs to have it be.
And this room gets way hotter, way quicker than the rest of the house.
It's a converted garage, so. Are you aware with the Oilers owner Daryl Katz being accused of paying an underage ballerina for sex? Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I did a video a few days ago on all the various scandals going on around the hockey world. It's I mean, he's a billionaire. Some billionaires have odd ways of treating people, and again, he's denied, so we'll see if anything comes of it. I don't know that anything does. The NHL is not in a position to take any kind of action at this point that I can see, unless other owners get mad. But I would imagine a lot of owners probably have skeletons in their closet.
Too hot to barbecue outside. Agreed. I was going to make barbecue chicken today.
And I was like,
nope. Put chicken breasts and barbecue sauce in a crock pot to make shredded chicken sandwiches, topped with coleslaw. Yum. I made something so similar 2 days ago. I put chicken in the Instant Pot. And then I put cream cheese and seasoning and shredded it. And I made sandwiches. And I also had coleslaw because kids need to eat vegetables. So.
No, that's the plan.
There you go. Today I made noodle salad and we had leftover coleslaw. And then we had.
I saw in there my favorite sport besides hockey, NFL football. NFL football is it. She doesn't have a second favorite sport. Maybe tennis?
I don't mind tennis. I like curling. I like watching curling. I don't mind soccer either.
My favorite
soccer's really funny how they throw themselves on the ground. That's hilarious.
My favorite WHL team, the Giants. Giants are local. Yeah, I go with the Giants. I just realized too, I have a Winnipeg Ice jersey that I got this week too. I love the logo on their jersey, so I picked that up.
Is it possible Yvonne has as many pairs of glasses as Shannon does jerseys? Not even close.
She has 35 pairs of sunglasses.
Not even close.
She has her second Tuesday of the month glasses, and they're all dated and they're all hung up in order. And if I put them out of order, it gets ugly. It gets ugly fast.
I have 12 glasses. So. Do the Tokyo Katanas finally win, or do the Thrashers lose this season? Also, have you ever been to a Vancouver Whitecaps game?
I have not been to a Whitecaps game, no. But I would love to see the Thrashers come back. I'm just going to say, all kidding aside, I think that would be fantastic because I love their jerseys. I'm one of the few that did, but the blue jersey I thought was fantastic. I had to pick her up because she was going to attack Pixel. So she's looking down because she's sad that she can't attack Pixel. I'm holding on to her.
Can Maurice help Florida's scoring?
No, but he doesn't have to. Their scoring is absolutely ridiculous. They need to start playing playoff hockey from the beginning this year. And that means the scoring will probably drop a little bit. Their goals against should drop, and it won't be quite as wide open as last season. They were way too wide open last year.
Yvonne's secretly a Broncos fan. She just doesn't know it yet.
Do you want one of my Broncos jerseys or one of my Broncos hats?
No.
Remember, Anna was sending us all that Denver stuff.
Best food you've ever had at a hockey game?
They have White Spot here in Abbotsford, don't they? Or is that in Vancouver?
White Spot? They don't have White Spot.
Okay, so White Spot's at the one in Langley then. We've had White Spot at a hockey game.
Yes.
So it would have been the Giants game.
It's been forever. It's not in Vancouver. Vancouver, they have the meat.
The barbecue.
Oh, look at Pickle. He's all stretched out.
Yeah,
Vancouver has these really good meat sandwiches that are really good. I like those. And then in Abbotsford, they have pretty good chicken strips and poutine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right next to our seats, too.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay.
Get food on our way to our seats.
How do I make coleslaw? Not with mayonnaise.
So she makes it wrong.
I usually use balsamic vinegar, olive oil, and then I put dried mustard, celery seed, and seasoning salt. with the all the veg. Oh, somebody asked if we like Kitty. Yes, Kitty's great. I might have listened to them.
She's a bigger fan of Kitty than I am.
In the early 2000s. Need some Saskatoon blades. They've got beauties.
I don't have blades. I don't have blades.
I don't remember that one.
Nope, I don't have that one.
Thoughts on new BC Lions owner Amar Dorman?
I haven't been keeping up on what's going on with the Lions this year. I don't have an opinion on the new owner at this time.
Is Dwight starting a fire for a fire drill, the top 5 best scenes on The Office?
As Stanley has a heart attack. Yeah, it's up there. I think my favorite is still, and it's the cold open where Dwight's desk has been put in the washroom. That is absolutely great. Just for Jim's, well, where did you put it? Where did you last see your desk? And he's moved it into the men's washroom. Absolutely my favorite.
Oh, he just answered the BC Lion.
Yep.
No, I don't want to use yogurt instead of mayo. I don't want mayo coleslaw. I like vinaigrette coleslaw. You're at a barbecue, ribs or brisket? Ribs.
Yeah, ribs.
No question.
Thoughts on the New Jersey Devils leaked reverse retro news? I hope they do a black and white Scouts jersey. However, a blue New Jersey logo with stripes on it. I haven't seen it. I'll have to check that out. There's definitely a lot New Jersey could do. That being said, the jersey makes me think maybe just keeping things as simple as possible is best for New Jersey. Maybe that's best.
What Canadian slang did we say?
Have I seen photos of the new Barracuda Arena? No, not yet.
Barracuda. Thoughts on a possible Uyghur-Tanev pairing? Flames might have the best defense core in the league this season.
Would they break him up with Hannafin, though? Uyghur is a very underrated defenseman. I think Calgary's going to love him. That being said, they could put together any combination of defensemen. Really, I think their defense is going to be very good 1 through 6.
Time is running out for the A's and Rays to get a new ballpark. Do you think they'll get new stadiums or not? The city of San Diego deserves the NFL back. Spano sucks. I miss the Alaska Aces.
I hope San Diego gets that straightened out. I really do. But Oakland, they really desperately need a new building. And if they don't get it, they're going to end up going to Vegas. So, which is not a short drive from Oakland. So my guess is at the last moment, hopefully Oakland makes it work and they stay, because I kind of root for the A's. It'd be nice to see them win something. I know they're not good this year. It'd still be nice to see them win something.
Favorite beer?
I used to like
beer.
I used to like the dark beer, which they don't really sell anymore. I'm not a beer fan. The dark beer I was more of a fan of, but I really don't drink beer. If I have another option, I'll take the other option.
Yeah. No.
Do I think McDavid will ever hit 150 points in a season? Yeah, probably. It's going to have to be one heck of a start to the season. And then he's going to have to be consistent the whole way through and obviously can't get hurt. But yeah, he could hit 150 points in the season.
Is Malkin and Letang re-signing good?
I do think that it was important to Pittsburgh to keep that trio together. So Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. I think Letang's contract's a bit too long, but they wanted to keep the band together. They want to keep going for it. So we'll see how it turns out. They are 3 of the best star players of the last 15 years of hockey. So we'll see how it goes.
Do you play Mega Millions?
Nope.
We don't really do any of that.
I stay away from that.
Really don't. Well, the GM, Edmonton Oilers GM.
Oh, okay. The underage kid thing, that's the owner. That has nothing to do with the GM. That's the owner, and the league would have to step in and do something. And at this point, I haven't heard anything.
Shannon does have movie jerseys. He wears those on the other channel.
Yep. Those are Entertainment Guy jerseys.
A's owner, John Fisher, is worth $3 billion, but spends less than $50 million on the roster.
Some owners are cheap. That's how that works.
$50 million cheap.
For that amount of
I'm
money.
about to go off on this clown, Doug Armstrong.
In St. Louis, I wouldn't. I think St. Louis has done okay. I mean, losing Perron hurts, but I think they'll still be good.
How do you think Pacioretty will fit with Carolina?
He should be able to hit at least, I would say, 25 goals, with Carolina having a more reserved offense in general. But he could still hit 30, 35 if he has the right line mates and if the chemistry's there. It's hard to say, though, because chemistry, we just don't know until a player starts playing with that team.
Prices on LTIR, would Montreal consider Kadri?
I think the real question there becomes, what would it take to get Kadri there? Because I don't think Kadri at this stage, where he's already 32, would want to go through some kind of a rebuild. So I think it's really a matter of, they probably have to outbid other teams to make it work. And I don't know if they're at a place where they should be putting that kind of money into Kadri.
Which D-man do you trade to upgrade the defense for the Canucks, and who would you go after?
It's tricky because obviously Ekman Larsson's one that I think the Canucks would like to move on from, but with new management, unless the Sedins are still sold on this is going to work. But nobody's taking that contract. Myers is one that I think most Canuck fans would say, oh, if we could trade that contract, but nobody's taking that contract. So I think they're stuck with the defense they've got.
What are your thoughts on the rivalry of Montreal Canadiens Caulfield versus Ottawa Senators DeBrincat? Who's going to be the best small player this year?
DeBrincat should outscore him this year. Caulfield eventually is the better player.
Will Canucks core ever win a cup?
I don't think I'll ever see the Canucks win a Stanley Cup, but that's 40 years of experience talking. So I might just be more cynical than others.
Could Alaska get an AHL or an ECHL team again?
I mean, they could, but they have to be able to fill a building, and then the travel costs have to work as well. I think that's part of the reason why the ECHL thing didn't pan out.
Baseball needs a salary cap. Agreed. And I don't watch baseball.
I thought baseball would be better off with a salary cap for ages, but it's never going to happen. If it was going to happen, it would have happened back when they wiped out that World Series. And as soon as they wiped out that World Series, there still wasn't a salary cap. It's never going to happen.
Hey guys, thoughts on Puljujarvi signing? Also touchy subject, but where do you think Jake Virtanen could play if he returns to NHL?
See, Virtanen being exiled from the NHL, he played terribly his last year in Vancouver. He just wasn't very good. He wasn't in shape. His motivation just wasn't there on the ice. And I don't know how many teams are going to want to take a shot, because he's 25 and he's been out of the league now for over a year. So there's a lot of risk there. I could see a team like Tampa adding him at league minimum for depth. I just don't know if he could crack the team. I think that his time in the NHL might be done.
Guinness room temp in a glass? That sounds really gross. So your jersey collection insured? It has to be one of the biggest private collections out there.
We have renters insurance, so that's part of it.
And we have the amount to reflect the jerseys. So think there's merit to Dobson coming to Vancouver?
I think it'd be very expensive to get Noah Dobson, and I don't think the Canucks would make that move. I'd be very surprised.
You guys are amazing. How are you so consistently focused every day to make great videos and make it look so easy?
I just wake up every day and go, well, what do I want to talk about today? Like I made a video that's going to post when we're on vacation next week, where I talked about the California Golden Seals, Oakland Seals, Cleveland Barons, and what a mess that was. Really enjoyed putting that together. Really enjoyed the research behind it. And I just put together videos that I'm like, this would be kind of fun for me if I was watching videos. It's kind of how I look at it. Yeah. So,
because Shannon's awesome.
If it's not a topic that interests me, and there are times where people say, oh, you need to talk about this, but if it's not a topic that interests me, it shows in the video. And so I stay away from the ones that don't really interest me.
What are the chances Huberdeau signs with the Flames?
I would say right now, I'd say 50-50. There's no rush. I understand the panic of seeing another guy who's a UFA next summer, but there's no rush. And worst case scenario, they they trade him at the deadline. Or I guess if it's a worst case scenario, they're a really good team. They hold on to him through the deadline. They have a nice playoff run, and then he leaves. But I really think that it's about, I would say 50-50. He could go.
Would you be interested in making a video on Matt Duchene and his trade from the Avs to join a cup-winning team and the Avs winning without him?
One thing that I could do with Duchene, I've wanted to do a truly awful seasons on the Colorado Avalanche, a 48-point season, and I could loop that into that as well, where part of what fixed that was the Matt Duchene trade and the amount of patience Sakic showed with that.
Of the NHL teams that no longer exist, moved or folded, which was your favorite?
Minnesota North Stars. The Minnesota North Stars, I loved their jerseys. I loved everything about them. It was sad when they moved to Dallas. I still cheer for Dallas, but Minnesota North Stars were my first team.
Not trying to overstep any boundaries, but asking a personal question. Are you retired or do you work from home? How are you able to make videos all throughout the day?
This is my job.
This is his job. You're watching him work.
This is my job. He's
not old enough to be retired.
Nope.
He doesn't have enough money to be retired. Nope. This is his job.
Yep. I may never have enough money to be retired with the way everything's going through.
He makes all the videos so we can pay our bills.
That's why I'm making videos now that are going to post while I'm on holiday, because there still needs to be income coming in while we're on vacation. So I'm going to be posting. I want to post 3 videos a day from the that I'm making now for next week, so that I don't have to do so much while I'm on holiday. But news of the day will still happen from the hotel.
Hey Shannon, any chance Kadri lands in Calgary to round out Calgary's top line?
I would love that. I would love to see them make that work. The math would be tough. In order to make that work, they'd likely have to find somebody to take Monahan's contract, and that might be expensive for them. But if they can make the math work, Kadri would be a fantastic addition.
Yeah, that's not how disability works.
Would I sue myself?
Right. He's self-employed. Well, we're both self-employed, so no.
It's a registered partnership.
Yeah, so. we're self-employed. So
yeah. So I'd be suing myself?
Yeah, there's no
getting disability from myself.
Yeah, no.
And how would I break it? I guess if we got like a giant ladder.
Lisa says she needs a raise, so
double her pay. Double it. There you go, Lisa. Asking, you shall receive. Your pay has been doubled.
Oh my goodness.
You're welcome.
Okay. What was or is your favorite era of hockey?
I know it's because I'm old, but I miss how hockey was in the 80s. You would see hockey trades all the time. You would see this team needs a forward, they get a forward, so they trade a defenseman to this team that needs a defenseman. There wasn't talk of contracts and, oh, what if he leaves? There wasn't panic over that. It's just, well, if he leaves, he leaves. But again, free agency wasn't until age 31, so that helped. And in the 80s, you didn't have unrestricted free agency either. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the liberal movement of players. I thought that was a lot of fun. There weren't the no trade and no move clauses to the amount that we see now. But that's me.
Have you got any new hockey cards since your last collection video, or have you just held on to those? Can you see all the boxes?
I have some boxes here.
Unopened hockey cards.
A guy I went to school with.
Right here.
Actually, my best friend in middle school, his brother came over today and dropped off some hockey cards from the 80s. I was thinking about going through them on the live stream, but I'll do a video where I go through them because they're not gone through. He said basically they've just been sitting in storage, and he's like, here, just take them. He didn't charge me for them. So I'm going to go through those. We'll see what might be in there. There might be a Gretzky. There might be a coffee rookie. I have no idea what's in there. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun to go through. It's a lot of cards, but yeah, I'll do a video on that. Maybe that'll post while we're on vacation too. Oh yeah, Savard for Chelios. That was exactly what that one was for. Montreal wanted that depth down the middle, and Chicago wanted that blue liner. Worked out really, really well for Chicago, although Denny Savard did win a cup in Montreal.
Have you ever watched sledge hockey?
Sledge hockey's fun.
It is. I definitely couldn't do it.
No.
Nope.
No. There's a level of coordination to that
muscles. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yep, I've seen it live.
To me, regular hockey is much easier than the sledge hockey. That would be pretty tough.
Yep. What is the best goaltending team duo of all time?
See, my gut immediately says Richter and Van Beesbroek. But again, that's my age showing. I would say, yeah, Richter and Van Beesbroek would probably be, in my opinion, the best I've seen. Just that they were both starters, and it didn't matter who was in net; they were both equally good.
Do you like lacrosse?
I do. I don't watch it. It is a fun sport to watch, though. It's brutal sport. It's violent. They really smack each other with those sticks, and they're not small either. They're not light. But yeah, lacrosse is fun to watch, and honestly, there are some players who are really good at lacrosse that end up being NHL players.
Say hi, playing Stray currently, but popping in.
Hey Taylor, yeah, I heard Stray's a good game.
I still don't know what it is.
It's about a stray cat. I think you play the stray cat.
Or are you making things
No,
up?
it's about a stray cat.
Hey, Pickle's gonna tell you what he thinks about that. Hey, bye. You tell him what you think. He says, no, I was playing with Bear.
Where you going?
What made you get into hockey? And what made you make a channel? He's done videos on that.
What got me into hockey is I grew up around it. Everybody I knew watched hockey. So if I was at Grandpa's watching hockey. If I was at home, Dad's watching hockey. I just grew up watching hockey. So it's sort of through osmosis. The YouTube thing was really a matter of I just started making videos. I went through a breakup. I started making videos. Eventually, it ended up being hockey, and here I am. I never approached it like this is going to be a job. It was just a hobby, something fun to do, and then it became a job. So I was very fortunate.
We have not watched the Obi-Wan series yet. Who's the cutest active hockey player?
Besser's got the flow.
There you go.
Besser's
Heard
flow.
it here. Where are your cats? Bear's right there. Shadow's right there in the tree. Yeah, Pixel's right here. Pixel's right here. And the kittens aren't allowed in the room.
You're not being strangled, sweetie.
She does not like being picked up.
You're not being strangled, sweetie. She always makes that noise because when she makes that noise when the kids pick her up, I tell them to put her down. She hasn't figured it out that if I pick her up, who's telling me to put her down? Nobody. So, anyways.
Are you guys watching the new season of Big Brother? I don't watch Big Brother.
No. We've been watching Love Island. So having a choice between the two. I don't
like Big Brother. The people are awful.
Although this year's Love Island is really, I don't know. There's things with that I'm not as big a fan of as I may have been in other seasons.
Have you watched Shoresy? Yes.
Oh, of course. Shoresy's fantastic.
Who is the first player you fell in love watching?
Man, it's got to be Gretzky. Like, as a kid, Gretzky just did stuff on the ice no one else did. So I had the 7-Up poster that had Gretzky right front and center because they had the 7-Up that they had Steve Leonarduzzi was on it. Carling Bassett, who was a Canadian tennis player, was on it. Steve Leonarduzzi played for the Whitecaps. I think Pele was on it. He was with the New York Cosmos at the time, but all I cared about was that was my Gretzky poster. I was like, I don't know, 11 years old, I think, when that came out.
Have you checked out The Boys on Amazon Prime?
I love The Boys. Got it all done up to season 3. It's not really Yvonne's cup of tea.
That is definitely not a show I would watch.
I really enjoy The Boys. That is a fantastic show. And Jensen Ackles, my favorite actor. Easily.
Yeah, no. The gritty in the background scaring me.
That's the idea. I do move him around regularly, but yeah, that's the idea. When I ordered that, I was like, oh, I've got to have that on the set. That's got to show up. So little movements here and there from video to video when I think about it, or from day to day when I think about it. I'm running out of room up there for him, though, because I got the Calder Cup, the Stanley Cup, the Calder Cup picture, Gary Bettman, which is not actually me saying I love Gary Bettman. People I don't think understand it's not me loving Bettman.
Bettman is even scarier. He looks like he's going to eat Bettman.
Which people might actually cheer. He was at center ice and Gritty just swallows him whole. Done.
What's your favorite hockey moment?
Game 7 against Calgary, Pavel Bure. That goal. That was I've never cheered like that in my life. I've never been that excited watching a hockey game in my life.
Look at this little bean.
And it was on a small TV at a friend's house.
Look at this baby.
And it was great.
For what? Right in my face. He's molting. You can see his face molted.
Do you need help, sweetie? You okay?
Oh, help me settle something really quick. Adam West, best Batman ever.
Well, yeah. Adam West's fantastic. Adam West, he got it. He had the suit, 100% West, no fakery, no fake nipples or anything. He's just Adam West in there. It was great. Adam West, and then after Adam West, I would have Michael Keaton as my favorite Batman after that.
When's the first power ranking?
I'm thinking about doing a power rankings before we leave on our trip. It won't be using the puck board, but I'm thinking about doing power rankings before we leave on our trip. The only reason I haven't done it already is because there's so many big name free agents out there. I want to wait until they're done, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So I may do a power rankings now and then maybe do another one first week of September based on what happens in between now and then.
Can you see Newhook in the top 6 this year?
With Burakovsky going? Yeah, I could see Newhook, I think, is going to be a really, really solid player for the Avs for a long time. Hey, bang.
I'd recommend on Netflix Silent Sea and Vincenzo.
If we can find those ones. As long as it's on the Canadian Netflix. Canadian Netflix is more limited than American Netflix. We did try doing...
It depends on what you want to watch. To me, it's not more limited. There's things on Canadian Netflix that
there's a lot of stuff on American Netflix that I can't get up here. But we tried doing like the virtual, like the what do you call that? It's not Norton. The VPN.
Oh, VPN.
The VPN.
That was a pain.
And all it did was bugger up my computer.
It was a pain.
And screwed up a TV. And so, yeah, I don't use the VPNs. I was trying that so I could watch American Netflix, and I was getting blue screen of death on my computer all of a sudden. I'm like, that's not good.
It was messing up the TV too.
Yeah. So I had to uninstall them.
Puljujärvi and Barry for Jay Taves with 50% retention.
I mean,
pass.
If Taves is available, I mean, there's no movement, no trade clauses there too. I mean, it's full no movement, I think, for Taves. So he'd have to sign on for that. I don't know if Taves would want to go to Edmonton. And not only that, but then he's a free agent at the end of this year. So if he hits the market, I would think Edmonton would call. I'm not sure on how much that's going to cost or what that's going to look like.
Did you watch Fred Green show? Yes.
Well, of course.
My mom
as a Canadian, you had to.
Fred Green, and his books are really funny too. If you like Red Green, he's got a few books and they're hilarious.
This rabbit is Pickle. He's the father in the house.
He's so sweet. He's the snuggliest bun we have.
Yeah.
He likes to be held. I don't think he would like a jersey. Shadow's right there in the window. We have a tree. And so this is like in the middle of the room. There's a tree in front of the window and he's on that. He's like, I'm not going upstairs.
I'm not trying to take him upstairs. I just want to pick him up. I have Licorice in here. Licorice will not let me pick him up. Licorice is not interested in me picking him up right now. So he just ran over into the corner over here.
Why did the Whalers make those trades in 91, which included Francis to the Penguins? They were franchise-ruining moves. Needs a THG breakdown video.
I think they saw a lot of potential with Cullen. And I think that they were of the mind that they weren't going anywhere with Francis at the helm. So making that trade for Cullen. Cullen's point totals were similar to Francis's as well before the trade. That changed after the trade. So, of course, Francis went on and they won Stanley Cups. And it made it look really bad for Hartford. There were some trades Hartford made around that time that absolutely sunk them.
Thoughts on a potential New York Americans video?
I may get into Americans. I know I've talked about them before because there's the 1940 jinx. Part of it was seen as being to do with, I think it was Red Dutton was the owner of the New York Americans, that the New York Rangers put him out, and that there's a jinx that he put on the team because they pushed him out. So yeah, there's definitely a New York Americans video to be done there.
It is level. The ceiling is not. The picture's level, though. Don't worry. Which 90s NHL star would you rather build your team with at their peak? Fedorov or Modano?
Fedorov. Fedorov can play the blue line. He can play anything. Won multiple Stanley Cups. I love Modano, but at their peak, Fedorov was the better player.
No, we can't remove the Bettman picture. How else is he supposed to keep an eye on Shannon?
It's been on the set for at least 2.5 years. It's got to be 3. I'm thinking 3 years. It's just it was never that close. It was in the background of every single video I did on the old set.
Are we going to see Harold Ballard Part 2?
If I dig up enough information on Ballard, I can absolutely do a Part 2. But at this point, I'm not planning on it.
The Bettman picture is required by the NHL. Right?
They
have to keep an eye on him.
That's the joke, is because people say I'm paid for by the NHL. Fine, I'll just put up a Bettman picture. No problem.
Is it safe to say that Canadians live like Americans of 15 years ago? Shopping habits.
Well, we go to the mall.
I don't. We do, but our mall is different. I don't think so at all. Disagree.
Okay.
Surprised no team has signed Dallin.
I would agree, but Dallin really tailed off towards the end of the year for San Jose. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up back in Europe.
Canadians and Americans are practically identical. No.
On the surface, yes, but beneath the surface, not really. It's completely different.
Quite a big difference.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility of a video on Terry O'Reilly's career?
At some point, yep, absolutely. He is relaxed. Very relaxed bunny. His son isn't, though, because he thinks I'm going to take him upstairs.
The bunny's put me to sleep. He looks so relaxed. He is. So you can tell a bunny is sleeping. Oh, I just woke him up. When their noses stop moving because they sleep with their eyes open. See if you watch him go to sleep. He likes to be held. This is our snuggly bun. What is the argument of Wayne Gretzky not being the greatest of all time? I always assumed there wasn't an argument. Yeah.
Oh, no, there's an argument.
Comment section.
There's an argument.
Oh my gosh.
There's he wouldn't have even scored 50 points in today's NHL. He was slow. He was 4'8". He just, there's all kinds of reasons. So even though he scored more assists than anybody else had points in the NHL, there's always that argument that McDavid, Crosby, anybody from current NHL would have dominated back then. I've given up on the argument. I think comparing across eras is just not, it doesn't work.
Why doesn't Robert Luongo get more love as one of the greatest goalies of all time? By career point shares, he is number 1 goalie and number 3 player.
Because he never won a cup. If he had won that Stanley Cup in 2011, he would have got a lot more attention. But because in playoff series against Chicago, the Canucks in front of him let him down, his numbers got ugly. And then against Boston, he just melted down every time they went to Boston. So that's what colors that perception of him. I don't think it's fair either, but I argued with Canuck fans for years, and every time it was, well, Luongo needs to be better. I'm like, he had a .905 save percentage last night. It's not him. Or he'd save 28 out of 29. They'd lose 1-0. He'd be like, see, Luongo's the problem. And I'm like, they didn't score a goal last night. He's not the problem. So, yeah.
You're being watched. What was the most disappointing game you have ever watched?
Most disappointing game I've ever watched. Game 3, Vancouver in Boston. Vancouver's up 2-0, and then Boston just absolutely destroyed them. And once that happened, I got that feeling of, oh, they're not going to win it, are they? Which was really frustrating.
Do you think Fine, I won't read that one. Do you think Laine contract kind of screwed the Devils a bit, and maybe Bratt is asking for that kind of money?
I don't think Bratt will be asking for as much as Laine got. I think with Bratt, I think there's a smaller sample size of him producing at that level, so he probably isn't looking for Laine money. Probably less than that, I would think. We'll see how much he ends up getting, though. But at least for New Jersey, they haven't been any kind of cap held for a long time, so they're in pretty good shape.
Somebody didn't know bunnies slept with their eyes open. And sometimes they do on this flop. It's so funny. They'll be standing and they like throw themselves on their side. And then they sleep like that with their eyes open. So they look like they're dead. It's disturbing. Pickle did it to me the other day.
Cinnabon does it
Cinnabon goes all the way, like with her paws in the air. She's something else. But Pickle did it to me the other day. And when I first said his name, he didn't move. And I had that moment of, oh my gosh, what's wrong with my bun? But he was fine. He was just sleeping. Do you feel the hate on Arizona is almost like a bandwagon? Am I wrong that people like to spit on the Yotes just to spit on the Yotes?
There's definitely people ganging up on Arizona, but I've seen it happen with the New York Islanders. I remember it happening with Carolina. I remember it happening with Pittsburgh before they got Crosby. That move the team. This team's no good. They have to have a mega star to sell tickets. Florida gets that as well.
Pretty boring.
There's definitely certain teams and certain markets that people decide to hate on. It's just that's how it works.
On my face now.
And for Arizona, I think they consider it to be easy because there's not as many fans necessarily.
Pickle got right in her face, and she was not a fan.
You okay, sweetie?
He just go back to his spot. Thoughts on the Wings' moves, and are they done?
I think the Wings are pretty much done for now, just from the way Yzerman's been talking, and just you look at that lineup looks pretty complete. They may end up in training camp deciding they got too many forwards. They may have to move somebody, but that's a good problem to have. Detroit definitely has gotten better. Edvinsson is the one to watch. If Edvinsson can jump in and play big minutes right out of the gate, they may end up surprising people.
I heard bunnies can bite your head off like in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. My kids
definitely can bite.
Think that's the funniest thing ever in that movie. The bunny's just bite. Flying. If a bunny actually bites you, you will need stitches. I have never been bitten by a rabbit though.
I've got with licorice. He nibbles, and I always ow when he nibbles, even if he's just getting shirt, because I want to encourage him not to do that because he has very sharp teeth, and I'd really rather not get bit by him.
Did either of us play hockey growing up? What league?
Street and floor, because, and I even talked about this with my mother when she was at the Chilliwack meetup. We never had money. My family never had money to get me equipment. I could go and skate. We could go to twin rinks, and I could skate for hours. I would go out and skate for hours and do laps, and I could go really fast, and it was fun. And then they had stick and puck one time, and I was like, hey, it's easier to skate holding a hockey stick. This is great. So I was out there skating around and playing with the puck. But yeah, organized hockey was expensive, and then my dad wasn't reliable, so I had no reliable way to get to and from practice regularly. So it would not have worked. I did not have the income. My family didn't have the income for me to be able to play hockey even back then.
I had broken legs most of the time from the age of 11 through high school. So
that's true.
I didn't do much in the way of sports other than swimming. I was pretty good at swimming, but I couldn't even walk. So
did you go as Ironside for all of your like Halloweens?
I didn't do Halloween. No? Not when I was older like that.
No. Trying to think of like, you could have found like a character in a movie that's in a wheelchair and then just been like, this is me. I'm all dressed up for Halloween. That would have been great. You could have been like the guy in Misery.
Oh, there you go.
You could have been James Caan.
Perfect.
That'd work.
When do you think home teams will start to wear white jerseys again?
I don't think the NHL changes it back because this is designed that, your thirds, your retros, your blues, in case of Vancouver, those are the ones that sell the most. So they want to have teams featuring the jerseys that sell the best in the team store. White doesn't sell as well. So I'd be very surprised if they change back. Maybe they'll make it where for half the season it's home wears white and the other half the road team wears white. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Who's your all-time starting six?
Oh, geez. It'll have to be Gretzky down the middle. Blue line would have to be, and this would be during my era. Blue line would have to be Bourque and Leach. To me, anyways, it'd be Bourque and Leach. In net, it'd be Patrick Waugh. On the wings, man, if you had Brett Hull on the right side and you had I'll say Charlie Simmer in his prime on the left side, you would score nothing but goals. It would just be goals, goals, and more goals. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Will Ottawa change coaches quick if they start bad?
Yeah, there's some pressure in Ottawa this year. If Ottawa gets off to a rough start, it absolutely could affect the job security of DJ Smith.
Pickle's just making sure everybody knows that's his easel. This is mine. They're so cute.
Uh-oh.
Is the Sharks roster complete? What will happen with
Ferraro? Mario Ferraro is a top 4 defenseman. He's going to get paid like it. He's not going to end up going anywhere. He's a key part of their future. I think for the Sharks, I think they're pretty close to done. We'll see what Mike Greer has up his sleeve, though. He may end up doing something crazy between now and then, but they've got their new coach now. They've made some moves in the offseason. I don't know if I see them as a playoff team necessarily, but they're going to try their best.
Oh, somebody asked if we'll do live streams during this season. We do. We just don't do them as often because Shannon is really busy because that's a lot of games to watch.
Yeah, if it's while games are on, I can't.
We don't do live streams while there is hockey on, except for we'll do Patreon live streams. That's okay. But we don't do channel-wide ones.
And even then, it has to be a night of like one game.
Right. 2 games. And that's the trouble is a lot of nights.
Because I'm always taking notes during games. So it doesn't work for me to be able to take notes and be in a live stream at the same time. It just doesn't work.
One more thing on the Devils. Should fans feel down that we didn't get the big fish, even though we were close on both of them, or just be happy for now?
Be happy with the cap space. If they'd signed Gaudreau for the money that he ended up signing with Columbus for, they might have a harder time keeping their young kids when their contracts are all up. So I think they should be happy for now. It just means that instead of having that explosive forward coming in, they'll just have to look for that this year from guys like Hughes and Bratt.
What do you do for a living? You're watching it.
This is it.
This is our life right here. You guys see it. This is it.
Yeah.
This is life consuming every day, all day. He does do videos.
And then I go and watch Bar Rescue.
So
watch a couple episodes of Bar Rescue and move on. Because we never watched it till like a month ago. So we got a lot to catch up on. There's a ton of episodes. So perfect.
Ever have a power outage during a game? I'm sure there are lots of thunderstorms. We do not have thunderstorms.
Not thunderstorms, but we did have a power outage during a game this past regular season.
We had to use
data.
And
that was fun.
We used data on the phone.
That was fun. I had to use data on the phone, hope it wouldn't die. I had to watch games on the phone, take notes in the dark, fill up the board in the dark. I got it done. We did get power back in time for me to do the review that night.
Yes,
but I had to watch on my phone and take notes while we had no power. It was out for like 2 hours, I think.
It was a while. Have you ever seen a tornado? We don't get weird weather here. We don't.
I think I did when I was on the prairies.
I've seen those little dust devils. I've got rabbit fur on.
Because we lived in Regina, and I think I've seen one. I know I used to have nightmares about them after we moved to BC because on the prairie you'd see tornado warnings and
But here we don't have crazy weather. We very, very rarely will see lightning.
There's been
very rarely.
There's been funnel clouds, but there hasn't been anything that's touched down. I know Chilliwack thought they had a tornado, I want to say 5 years ago, but it wasn't visually confirmed. And if it touched down, it was very, very brief because it messed up a farm.
I remember one when I was little.
Yeah.
I was like 12 or 13 and one did touch down and it like hit a building, but we don't get crazy weather. We just get rain all the time. So, there you go. Favorite hockey item you own?
Favorite hockey item that I own? Favorite hockey item that I own? That's a tough call because there's a lot of items. My favorite item that I own.
Would it be one of your pictures, maybe?
There's some pictures. I still haven't found those. We've got everything out of the storage, and so they're in here somewhere, or they're in a box somewhere. I've got some pictures I like. autographed pictures. I absolutely love my Bo Horvat picture that was in the background of the videos in the old house. We still haven't got that up on the wall yet. That one I love. That one I'm really proud of. I'm really glad that Lewis helped me get that by bidding it up.
It was nice of him.
So that was nice of him to make sure that I got it because he was bidding against me. Friends will do that. I want to make sure you get it, so I kept bidding. That's not how making sure you get it works, but sure, why not? Sure.
Your epic team, no Mario Lemieux. Why? Injury risk.
Because I had to pick a center, 2 wingers, 2 defensemen, and a goaltender, and my center would be Wayne Gretzky.
Is Yvonne really from Idaho? No.
She is.
I'm not.
So
I'm not.
there's this giant potato that you can
I'm
you
not
can use
from
for
Idaho.
a B&B. And
several subscribers have met my mom.
It was inspired by her.
My family's from Burnaby.
Giant potato.
I'm 4th generation Canadian. My whole family has lived in the Burnaby area.
So she grew up in Idaho.
I did not.
And
I didn't.
Huge fan of potatoes. Everything
you really
potato
have
related.
to take anything Shannon says with a grain of salt. Especially if it's anything about me, because he makes up a lot of crap. But
I don't do that with hockey. Let's just make sure that I'm stating what she's saying is not to do with my content on the channel. As I watch my subscribers go, his own wife said all he does is lie.
So Idaho then. Do you like Idaho and potatoes? We get Canadian potatoes here.
Idaho is it's flat.
Depends on which part of Idaho. North Idaho looks
part we were
like
in.
Southern
Alberta. The part we were
Alberta.
In was just really
dry
and
there were rocks. There were some trees. They had pine trees and
tall
rocks,
grass
and dirt,
and just
a lot. Not much green. It's very brown there.
I can honestly say I didn't have a moment where I was like, I wish we could go back. The worst thing was we went to Vegas, then we went to Idaho.
We really should have done it
that.
The other way around.
Absolutely a horrible idea. Was to go to Vegas, have a really nice time in Vegas, and then go to Idaho for a few days. That was bad planning.
Idaho has some of the most beautiful mountains in North America.
In the south, not the part we were in. That'd be in the area that we weren't in.
No, the mountains are in North Idaho.
We were in North Idaho.
I know.
Where are the mountains?
North Idaho. You saw them.
No, I didn't.
You did.
We weren't in them.
We saw them. We live in a mountain area, so to us, nope.
That little hill? That hill wasn't a mountain.
But there's mountains in southern Idaho, too.
That hill was just a really brief hike. He is bound and determined.
Oh, man, I still have rabbit fur, up my nose. Rabbit fur is really, really fine, and if you touch a rabbit, you get fur all over your face. Has Batman ever sent thugs to your house?
Not that I know.
This is why we have to keep our address kind of low key.
That's why we keep moving.
Just
once I've spotted Batman, usually in a tree, staring at us from across the street.
Mountains are easy
to miss.
Go. We're on the Patreon Discord, so he's like, "Ooh, mountains! You mean the hills? Those are hills. Those are not mountains."
Yeah, when we reached the peak of that hill, I was like, "Okay, fun, I guess."
There you go.
It's a lot of bugs.
No. What is your best MCU movie? None of them. Right
now, it would be Doctor Strange, the madness one, because the multiverse. Yeah, Sam Raimi directed that. It's got Bruce Campbell in it, punching himself in the face, and sold. Absolutely fantastic movie. Plus Captain Carter. So you put Haley Atwell in a movie, you have her throwing around the shield. I'm sold, even though it didn't end well for her, but it's a multiverse. She'll come back. It'll be great.
Fair enough. We have actual mountains in Colorado, some nice hills in southeast Idaho. They're big hills.
Oh, Colorado would be fantastic.
That would be really
We would enjoy Colorado, depending on the time of year.
Right.
I might need an oxygen kit if we were going to Denver, because
you have never seen Stanley Cup in person.
Nope.
Trip to Toronto. to the Hockey Hall of Fame is a must. We went, got to touch it and have pictures with it. That would be really fun.
That would be. I would want to have my picture taken and have it so that I'm right next to where the Vancouver Millionaires are, near the top of it, so I can point to the fact Vancouver won a Stanley Cup at some point in time. Wasn't the Canucks, but at some point in time, Vancouver won a Stanley Cup.
Are we near the Canadian Rockies? It's in driving distance, but I wouldn't say we're near them.
We're in the Cascades.
We are in mountains.
So the Cascades are, I mean, the next mountain range over is the Rockies. You don't have to go very far to get to the Rockies.
No,
either north or east.
You can get there in a day, but we have a lot of mountains around us that are not.
If you go north, you go north.
Have bugs
you get more
here.
Rockies.
Everywhere has bugs.
Yeah, we don't have any really big scary bugs though.
We don't have black flies, which is great. You have to either drive north or east. So we don't have black flies.
Nope.
We have a lot of mosquitoes though. But they're not the huge
not compared
bird
to
mosquitoes.
Like Manitoba. Manitoba
right.
is like the mosquitoes will
well, everywhere. Like everywhere else has huge mosquitoes. But we don't have black flies. You don't have to drive very far, though. Those are in the mountains and farther north. Yes, we're in the Coast Mountains. There's a lot of mountains here. Northern Ontario bugs are brutal. Yeah, everywhere has really bad bugs. They're not too bad here. The mosquitoes are awful this year, but compared to most of Canada, we don't have as many bugs.
No, it's not.
Probably because it never stops raining and it doesn't get too hot in the summer.
Right.
Do you go to Vancouver much? I do.
She does go once a week.
I hate it.
I haven't been in Vancouver that much over the last 12 months. I think, 3-4 times? Other than Canuck games, not at all, really.
Yeah. What are you doing? Pickle?
No.
Pickle, no hockey pucks, not a snack. No. Fine, I'll have this marker.
He can try. He won't be able to nibble on the marker.
This is mine, and this is mine. I don't think he actually nibbled it.
No.
I think he was just smelling them.
The pucks are fine.
Traveling to Vancouver in December. How is the weather, and is it very festive?
December is.
There are some awesome
chilly.
Places to go in December. In December, it very rarely
for black ice.
snows.
Gotta watch for black ice. We also get Arctic outflows usually in December. It can get pretty cold. We usually get a lot of rain in December. Yeah. Usually November, December.
Our snow isn't usually until January or February. We don't usually get snow in December. Sometimes we do, but a lot of snow, usually like around 5 degrees or so. So chilly and wet. And there are some really fun places to go that are decorated for Christmas and lots of Christmas lights and stuff.
Why are you getting into
in December? I take the kids to Vancouver quite a bit to do cool Christmas stuff. A lot of the gardens are covered in lights, and that's really fun. We take the kids to that.
Hey, so. Are you getting bored? Rabbits, you got to watch them. When they get bored, they start destroying stuff.
Oh, all the fur.
Yeah.
All the flying
I'll
fur.
Pet him faster.
Oh my gosh, Shannon. Oh my gosh.
I'll just pet him a little faster.
You guys can't even see that, can you? It's like bunny confetti. Okay, what are your feelings about teams producing more behind the scenes content? Why do some do it? Well, others don't.
I think it's to give more access to the players and doing it in a controlled manner, of course. I think it's to make them more relatable. Behind the scenes is good. I know even on the channel here I've done behind the scenes videos at times, but obviously it's a controlled setting. They're editing it and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, you're not necessarily seeing 100% accurate of how everybody is off the ice, but it's kind of nice to have that behind the scenes look at it.
Based on your jersey collection currently, which one do you have that you
never thought
you'd ever gotten and have been so happy to have it? Oh, there's a few. Shannon was very excited to find a few that he searched for years.
Well, and ones I never thought I'd actually have.
Right.
Where is it? It's in here. I know it's in here.
Okay, while you're searching for that.
Yeah.
I heard Erik Karlsson decided he's returning to Norris Trophy level this year to drag this poor Shark team to the playoffs.
He's gonna try. I will say that he shows flashes of being able to do what he was able to do back when he was in Ottawa, but yeah, not as often as he used to, and it does get tough with all the mileage. There you go. This is one I never thought I would have, and I have, and I'm so happy I have it. So I never wear it because I can't replace it. I can never get it again.
Ask him to count the jerseys while he's there.
Oh, well, if I'm going to count LA, 1, 2, 3, I can count LA.
If Shannon dropped all of his jerseys on Yvonne, would she survive?
7,
no.
8, 9,
it's a lot.
10, 11, 12, 13.
They're really heavy, too. We had to move these things.
19,
that was
20,
heavy.
21, 22, 23.
That jersey is horrible.
25, 26, 20. I have 27 Kings jerseys.
That's a lot. They have fun jerseys, though.
Yep. I have 27 Kings, and yet people say I hate them. Right.
Right. You hate all the teams, though. So,
yeah.
What are some super rare jerseys you would love to have?
Oh, that I'd love to have. Well, I mean, Tampa Bay's Storm jersey, but the only ones I'm seeing now are either like $1,000, which I get. It's all supply and demand. Or they're the kit jersey, which doesn't look quite right. It's not quite authentic looking. So that one's tough to get. And then just old ones, like old sweaters, when they were sweaters before they were jerseys. And you rarely ever see those really for sale at all, even on eBay.
Thoughts on Machine Gun Kelly's custom Kraken jersey?
Custom jerseys are usually fun. Machine Gun Kelly wore a Canucks jersey. I think he wore the Hockey Fights Cancer jersey when he was performing in Vancouver. So maybe he's a hockey fan.
What teams are you planning on hating this season?
You know, I was thinking
all of them.
I was thinking I could think outside the box and just decide from day one I hate Boston, Dallas, and Vancouver. And just every time they win, say stupid Dallas, stupid Vancouver.
Talk about how much you hate
stupid
them too,
Boston.
So.
And the problem is
Clearly,
that if I did
you're
that,
not a real fan.
The problem is if they did that and they were winning, then I'd kind of have to keep it going because I get to be a little superstitious at times, and that's something that I could see myself thinking, well, this is working. I have to pretend.
What about hats? How many hats and how do you store them? He has a lot of hats. Okay. This is how they're stored. You see this? So each one of these has a different team.
Arizona.
And it's this wall.
Arizona, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But there's
6,
a little, either
7,
a cubby,
9,
or a drawer 10, for each team.
11,
and it's
12,
this
13,
this
14.
wall.
I have 15 Arizona hats. So I'll just stop with the Arizona. But Arizona has some really fun hats. So that's why I have more Arizona hats.
How good is Pittsburgh Robo Penguin jersey or logo?
I like it. I'd like to see them for the reverse retro do something with the Robo Penguin on the front this time around. I think that it's a nice logo. I think part of it was that they won the back-to-back Stanley Cups. Then they changed to the Robo Penguin and they stopped winning Stanley Cups. And I think that's part of the reason why they ended up going back to the one they have now, and that the Robo Penguin hasn't been used so much. Teams get kind of superstitious too.
Did you reinforce the wall to hold all the jerseys? They are pretty darn secure.
These units,
don't you
very
worry.
Very little of the weight of the jerseys is actually against the wall. It's an IKEA unit that's made so that it's pretty well distributed, the weight. And
it is definitely secured to the wall. There's
less jerseys on each of these than there was in the old house. Yeah. I've got more room. I've not put all the AHL jerseys in here. They're not in here. It's just NHL jerseys. And I've also been going through and ones that are like duplicates. So like if I have a bunch of player jerseys I don't really wear for the Canucks, I can take those and store them.
What can Shark fans expect from David Quinn?
I think he's a better coach than he gets credit for. That being said, I don't know that San Jose is going to get much better on the ice because there's a flaw in the way they're doing this. They need to do at least a retool, and they're resisting it.
Thoughts on the reversible Leafs jersey? It's not reversible.
It's so funny. It is one of
we
the
did a
funniest
video.
jerseys.
We did an unboxing video. It's not reversible. The seams are showing. It's an inside-out jersey with the logo ironed onto one side. Or, well, not totally ironed on. It is stitched around it. It's an inside-out jersey.
Yeah.
This is silliness. Look at the tags even there.
It's really funny.
It could be really special and have a fight strap so people can pull on it as you walk by.
Yeah.
It's an inside-out jersey.
If I wore this to a meetup,
So
I'd actually
silly.
be disappointed if guys weren't grabbing the fight strap every time I went by them.
I'd be pulling on it every time you walk
absolutely.
by.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Yeah,
That's my opinion. It's
silly. An oddity. I don't think they'll use it again. Although it did sell out. Because
it's a different Leafs jersey.
So that's
they don't have a lot of different ones.
We're going to do that again.
So silly. Yeah, when we first opened that, I was laughing because I was pretty darn positive it was an inside-out jersey. Sure enough. Are you guys the same height? Almost.
Close.
Shannon's like 2 inches taller than me.
Yeah, I'm 4'10". She's 4'4".
Right? There you go. Do you like the jersey hoodies that they make?
Yes. She loves the jersey hoodies. I wear them at times. I know I started getting them because the set sometimes got really cold, and I was like, well, I could wear hoodies when it gets cold, but then somebody was just taking them and wearing them. So
I really like them. I have quite a few of them.
But I could see in here, I could see this room getting cold in the winter and me going with jersey hoodies for certain videos because it could get chilly in here.
They're nice. I love that Yvonne's still mad about the Toronto jersey. Makes me smile. It's so stupid. It's so fine. Dumb. It's not.
It's fine.
It's just dumb.
I think the Fanatics version would be better because the Fanatics version wouldn't have
a fight strap. It'd still have tags, and it'd be a Fanatics.
And they're heat pressed, so you wouldn't have that outline of the maple leaf.
It probably would. No,
maybe.
Fanatics stitch around it too. It's heat pressed as well, but it's still stitched around. Right. It's done nicer.
That'd be fine.
It still looks stupid.
Ooh, evergreen content.
Okay, been watching some of your evergreen content lately, so thank you for keeping me company this summer. Any idea when Reverse Retro 2.0 will drop?
We're going to Vegas next week. It'll be next week. I'm expecting next week to be when the Reverse Retros get, because I won't be here. So things happen. That's when Kadri's going to sign. That's when everything's going to happen, is when we're not here. So that's what I'm expecting. They have to release them in August because the retail for them starts in September. So they're going to want to get that hype train going. I've already got it set up. I think I know when I'm getting mine, so they have to do the reveal obviously before that.
Will you be back on the Steve Dangle podcast anytime soon?
That's up to them. They'll reach out. They'll contact me. They've contacted me the other times I've been on there. So yeah, if they want me back, I would absolutely be receptive to that.
Inside out jersey should have Tim Biebs written on it right above the logo. I call them Bieber bits, not Tim Biebs. Tim Biebs sounds silly. Bieber bits.
That sounds
way
wrong.
Better.
That sounds wrong. Anyways,
they're Bieber bits.
What's your opinion on Kadri going to the Islanders? If it happened,
call them Bieber bits.
Doesn't lead to the making of the playoffs. Would rebuilding have been the better option? They're an old team, so adding Kadri, he would fit in with the rest of the team in terms of age, but I don't know if they'll go into a full rebuild if things don't work out this year. That might end it for Lou Lamoriello. I don't know how much longer Lou Lamoriello is going to go, so we'll see. But yeah, this is a big year for the Islanders. I think they are in on Kadri. I'd be kind of surprised if they're not one of the few teams that are in on Kadri. And I think he'd fit in well. He wouldn't score like he did in Colorado, but he doesn't have to.
What's your favorite Red Wing jersey? Mine's 2009 Winter Classic jersey.
My favorite Red Wings jersey?
I see. Will you do videos in Vegas? Shannon does videos all the time. So, of course, he will do videos in Vegas. So, he is making videos that will upload while he's there so that he can take a little bit of a break.
This one right here, the Centennial, which is all beat up and it's got stains on it.
Yeah, stains don't come out.
Yeah, white jerseys do that. But yeah, this would be my favorite. I love the silver. The silver on the logo, they need to do this again. They need a silver. It just looks so nice. I would say a permanent change to this to silver would be fantastic. They won't do it, but I think it'd be nice.
Did you see the Blue Jackets BTS video today? Apparently Johnny G told Gabranson he wanted to come to Columbus after Eric's deal, according to Rick Nash.
I mean, Gudbranson fit in really well in Calgary. He clearly really enjoyed his time there, so that wouldn't necessarily surprise me.
Shannon's going to be buried with whiteboards.
I still have
Shannon will be cremated.
I took
we
two
can
of them.
Cremate all the whiteboards with them. I mean,
I took two. I put two of them into the garage. Yeah, I've still got a bunch in here.
Can you do a career video on Mike?
Mike Liut. Okay. He might go in the THG Hall of Fame. Mike Liut. It almost feels like I'd have to include his time as an agent because there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on with Liut as an agent. Interesting career. Very, very interesting career. He was one of my favorite goaltenders, especially during his time in Hartford.
Any particular sites you guys are seeing in Vegas?
I'm just looking forward to relaxing. I'm going to that mile-long mall there,
Miracle
Mile Mall, and just enjoying the sights and sounds and just being there again. I think would be nice.
Yep, we like to just wander around.
Yep.
I would love to be able to go out to the desert, but I don't know. It might be too hot for that. Thoughts on Stamkos right now? Top 10 center?
I don't think he's a top 10 center in the NHL now, but I also think that for what Tampa Bay needs him to be, he doesn't need to be a top 10 center anymore.
Thoughts on Stamkos? Oh, wait, I just read that one.
Yeah, you read that.
Sorry. Does Chris Osgood have a chance at the Hall of Fame?
I wish. I've done a video on Osgood. I've talked about for years. Osgood belongs in the Hall of Fame. He was fantastic in the playoffs, but the perception is that Detroit didn't need him to win those Stanley Cups, that any goalie probably could have got it done. So even though I disagree with that, that's the prevailing opinion, it seems. And I think if he was going to make the Hall, he probably would have got in already.
It'll be cooler in Vegas.
It's
not cool. For us, 30 degrees is really hot. It's supposed to be 40 degrees.
Yeah. The whole
it
time
doesn't even get that hot here.
Except last summer.
Right. Last summer doesn't count.
Last summer it was 44.
That's
awful.
Yeah. Most years it doesn't even get to 30 degrees. That it used to be like a once every 4 years or so. So yeah, it's going to be hot in Vegas. We are not up late. It's not even 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Although we should get going pretty quick here. Make sure kids.
We should, because I'm doubting the children have gone to bed.
Same here.
To their rooms. They're supposed to go to their rooms.
So yeah, that's the plan. Anyways,
31 in northern BC. It's hot today.
Yeah, it was 35, 36 here.
It got so hot today.
Who do I think will drop out of the playoffs and who will break through? Thoughts on Preds? Preds should be able to stay in the playoffs. I could see in the East, I could see Boston dropping out of the playoffs. In the West, I think the Pacific is really all over the place. Almost any of the teams could potentially be in that top three. Vegas should bounce back. Who knows if they do or don't. But anyways, we should get going. Thank you guys so much for coming out. It means a lot. We'll do at least one live stream in Vegas, I would think. So looking forward to that. I'll try to make sure that the strip is in the background.
As long as the internet is cooperating.
Yeah, the internet can be rough. But where we're staying, the internet's pretty good.
We haven't had too much trouble with MGM internet.
The place we're staying, it should be really good. So looking forward to that. But thanks guys for coming out, and we'll do this again soon.